Right. So the trick question. Right. So basically starts from saying they have given a fx which is right. So they are giving us a range where x is between -5/2 to 5, and we have to express this fx in terms of a cos 2x plus alpha plus b. Right now, so what I'm going to do here is, now there is a 2x and all. So now what I'm going to think is I have to anyway convert this into some form where 2x will come sin x or cos x, alright. So because of that I'm going to use the tan equals sin over cos, right? Right now this is going to be equal to 1. I can cut one of these. Right. So I am left with so then this comes up. Right now. So I end up with this. Then what I'm going to do? So I'm going to this as cos squared x minus sin x. Now I remember that this can be this can be changed into a sin 2x, and this also can be changed into a cos 2x. Right now. So basically, if I remind you this thing, cos 2x can be written as what? 2 cos square x minus 1. So basically this is what? Cos 2x plus 1 over 2. This is what? If I put half here and 2 here, that means half sin 2x. Correct, no? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 half out. Then I will get cos 2x minus sin 2x plus 1. Right? So now I have to get, so I have to somehow convert this into cos 2x plus alpha. Right, so now this b term can be got from this constant, right? So I have to somehow convert this. So now what I'm going to do here is, now for me to formulate a triangle, I can actually take, so now here the coordinates are 1. I can actually draw a triangle like this one. 1, 1. That's 2. This says alpha. So alpha. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take square root of 2 out. With half cos 2x minus half sin 2x. right? Nothing wrong, no? So now I should be mindful that I need a costing, no? Right? So now, sorry, this is wrong. This should be right. No? So now this part should be something of cost or sign. It should be something of cost, no? So for us to get a cost, what do you call the so now, because it's an addition of two angles, no? So this should be a cos thing, right? So I'm going to name this as, so anyway, cos alpha is 1 over 2 here, and sin alpha is also going to be 1 over 2 here, right? So if you remember your street knowledge, when does this happen? This happens when alpha is 45. Right, so now we just need to substitute these now. Right, that means, so get half cos alpha cos 2x minus sin alpha sin 2x plus this. So write this down, so then we'll continue. Right, so now we came up to there. If I rewrite this down, right, so it's this now. So what is this? This is basically cos. So if I not write this alpha and actually put the actual value of 5 over 4. So then I will get 2x plus 5 over 4. Right? No? So then I get right? So basically I can keep this as the answer as well, or I can further simplify. So I'll further simplify and see. So now we have to compare this with what? So A is going to be 1 over square root 2, B is going to be half, and alpha is going to be 5 over. Right now? Right, so now what are they saying next? So then they are saying solve the equation fx equals 2 plus square root 2 over 4. Right, so that's the next question. They are telling us to solve this. Right, so now we got a solution. So we wrote fx in terms of this now. right? So now this. So before we derived this, it was what? It was 2 square root 2. Right, so I'm going to write this in this form because then I can easily cut, no? Right. So then basically 2 over square root 2 will be equal, if I multiply by 4, 2 times square root 2 cos 2x plus 5 over 4 plus 2. Right now? Then I can cut these two off. Right? So after cutting that off, I can actually cut this off as well. Right now? Then I am left with what? Then I am left with 2 cos 2x plus 5 over 4 equals to 1. Right? So I actually get cos 2x plus 5 over 4 equals half. Right now? So what is half? Half can be written as cos 5 over 3. Right now? This can be written as cos 5 over 3. Now if you remember the general solution for cos. So now if I remind you the theory, that is cos theta equals cos alpha. Theta will be what? 2 and 5 plus or minus alpha. Right? So now here the theta part is this. So basically 2x plus 5 over 4 will be equal to, this is theta, 2 n 5 plus or minus alpha is 5 over 3. Right now? So basically, what do we get? 2x is equal to 2 n 5 plus or minus 5 over 3 minus 5 over 4. So x is equal to n 5 plus or minus 5 over 6 minus 5 over 8. You can actually keep in this way, or you can actually evaluate this in two ways. X equals n 5 plus 5 over 6 minus 5 over 8, or x equals n 5 minus 5 over 6 minus 5 over 8. Right, so you can actually simplify this and get the answer as well. But I think even this is sufficient. Right? So that's basically that for the solving part. Right? So now what's the next thing they are asking? They are saying using the first expression given for fx. What is this first expression? So the first expression is this one. So using the first expression given for fx, show that fx equals 2 plus square root 2 over 4 can be written as that. Fx 2 plus square root 2 over 4 can be written as 2 tan squared x plus 4k tan x minus k squared equals 0, where k is So this is what we need to prove. Right now. So now I'm going to equate these two now. Right, so I'm going to cross multiply. Right, so then I get here 2 plus 2 tan squared x I can actually get 2 plus square root 2 plus square root 2 tan squared x. Right, so then I'm going to keep this part here and get all the stuff there. So 2 plus square root 2 tan squared x minus 4, plus 4 tan x, then this 2 plus square root 2 minus 4. Right? So here 2 plus square root 2 tan squared x plus 4 tan x plus, or if you take minus out, minus, that's going to be 2 minus square root 2. Right? So now what? So now see the answer now. Now here and here. Right? So now here k is 2 minus square root 2, but this is square. So for here tan x has a k part, that means 2 into 2 minus 2 here. That means it is logical to think that if we multiply another 2 minus square root 2, we might get the answer. We actually should get the answer. Correct, no? So that is how you think. You just can't magically think this up, no? Right? So that is how you think. So compare with the answer. Compare with the answer and come here. So now here, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to multiply by 2 minus square root. Right? So if I do that, I will get 0, 2 minus square root 2 tan squared x plus 4 2 minus square root 2 minus 2 minus square root 2 square. Right? So now here we have seen now. Here. So now I can actually rewrite. So now I can substitute k equals 2 minus 2. Not for this, but for the others. Right? So that's what I'm going to do. Here I will get 4 minus 2. Right? So, right now, this is you get 2 squared minus square root 2 square. Right? So, tan squared x plus 4, this is k. This is k square. Right now? So then this is basically 2. Then we have actually got the answer. 2 tan squared x plus 4k tan x. Tan x is there. Right? 4k tan x minus k square. So this is what they are asking. Right? So right, so what's the next one? So the next one is we are asked to find tan 5 over 24. So now I have got this. So now I have got this now. Right, so now so this part. So if I actually take this as fx 2 tan squared x 4k tan x minus x. Right now, so I can actually take this as not fx, f tan x itself. Right? So now for it to digest more easily, I will take this tan x square as capital X. So basically, if capital X is 2x square plus 4k x minus k square. Right, so this is more easy to understand. Right, so what's the general solution? Minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac over 2. Correct, no? So I'm just going to get the answer here. Minus b is what? Minus 4k plus or minus, what is b square? 4k square. 4, what is a? Is 2. What is c? Minus k square. Over 2, 2. Right now? Then, so minus 4k. Then I'm going to take 1 out. So the 4 is common, no? So 4 is 2 squared, right? So I'm going to take 2 out. That is 4k squared. This 4 is lost. 4 is here now. So minus into minus is plus 2k squared over 2 into 2. Right now. So now I'm going to cut these 2 off. One of the 2 off. Right now. So here, then you get minus 2k plus or minus square root 6. So k squared is k, no? K squared is k over 2. Right now? Okay? So this is basically a general solution. So this is basically a solution for this one. Right? So get this down. So let's continue. Right. So we come up to this one. Okay. So now basically this says, so x is what? X is tan x. K times minus 2 plus or minus square root 6 over 2. Right now, so what is k? K is 2 minus square root 2. Right now, so k is 2 minus square root 2. So 2 minus square root 2 is greater than 1. No? So sorry, greater than 0. No? It is a positive value. Right. So that is a very, very important point now. Okay. So we get this. No? So we get this part. So now they are asking tan 5 over 24. Right? So now are asking tan phi over 24. Tan phi over 24 is a positive value, no? Because it's greater than 0, less than phi over 2 anyway, right? Now that means this should be definitely positive, no? For this to be positive, if I take the minus part, will it be positive? No, it cannot be positive. Therefore, right? Therefore, we take the positive part for the phi, tan phi over 24, right? So, since tan phi over 24 is greater than 0, tan phi over 24 is going to be equal to k minus 2 plus square root 6. So what is k? 2 minus square root 2. So minus 2 plus right. So here we will get minus 2 plus square root 2 over 2 plus square root 6 2 minus square root 2 cancels it off, minus 2 minus square root 2 plus square root 6 and minus square root 12 over 2, right now. So here minus 2 minus square root 2 plus square root 6, this can be written as 4 into 3, that means 2 into square root 3 over 2, that is, so we will get sorry, this is minus one. So this becomes plus. This also becomes plus. Right. So square root 6 plus square root 2 minus square root 3 minus 2. So this is the answer that they are asking. Right? Right, so then they are asking us to sketch the graph of y equals 2fx for the given x range. Right, so now they are asking for y equals 2fx and for x which is between right. So now 2, what is fx? So we can actually use the derived equation for in terms of cos. Right. So what is that equation? Cos 2x plus 5 over 4 plus half. Right, so this is the equation that you will get square root 2 cos 2x plus 5 over 4 plus. Right now? Right, so first of all, you all should get the range of this. You all should get the range of this graph. So let's see. I'm going to substitute cos 2x plus 5 over 4. That is y minus 1 over square root. Right? So now from the basic trick you know that a cos value is between minus 1 and positive 1. That means y minus 1 over square root 2 minus 1 plus 1, so minus right now. So y is between, so then you add plus 1 both sides. Right, so y is between this, right? So now you all know a traditional cost graph goes like this, no? Like this. So it is basically referencing x equals 0. Sorry, this graph. So this is basically y equals 0, no? But now here the what you call the segregation point or the middle line is not that, so we need to find that as well. So in previous A-level sums it was more like obvious because the given two numbers were there, or either it was symmetrical between the axes. So here the way you find is also very simple. You just basically get the middle point of this. So how to get the middle point? Basically the middle point of symmetric line you basically add these two up and divide by 2. So these two get cut off. So now this basically is symmetric over y equals 1. Right now. Right. So now we know the range of y. So now they have given the range of x now. Right. So we need to evaluate that as well. Right, so now so what is y? Y is what? Square root 2 cos 2x plus 5 over 4 plus 1. So this is what we got now. Right, so now we know that y is between what? 1 minus square root 2 to 1 plus square root 2. So that is done. But this cost term, we know the range of x, but we don't know the range of this whole thing. Right? So now let's see. So now let's evaluate that. So if I take this as m, okay. So I know that m is 2x plus 5 over 4. X is therefore m minus 5 over 4 half, no? That means m over, yeah. Right? Then I know the range of x as well. What is the range of x? Correct, no? So then I can cut these two off. Sorry, what is this? Right, no? Then what? Then I'm going to add the 5 over 4 back, so that I can get the range of m. That means m is between minus 3 5 over 4 and 5 5 over 4. Right now? So we get the range of this. So why did we get this M? Right? So that I am going to draw. I'm going to first draw a what do you call a reference graph where we can get the cost M in terms of cost M or basically cost M. So then I'm going to compare these two and get the graph. So that is the plan. Right. Okay. Right. So now I'm going to draw this. I'm going to draw the standard cost curve. So what's the standard cost curve? So now standard cost curve is cost x, no? So I'm going to put this as cost m. So it's just the variable. Right now? So now basically what happens is what? This is between 1 and minus 1. This is 0. This is 5 over 2. This is 5. So what? Remember the range of MV1. So then we get 5, 5. Here we get minus 5 over 2. Then we only need up to minus 3, 5 over 2. Right, so the standard cost curve, it goes like this. So at 0 is going to be 1. At 5 over 2 is going to be 0. And here it's going to be, at 5 is going to be minus 1. And some value here. Some value. So this is the normal cost curve, right? So if we actually extend it, we can actually draw further, but the range is this, right? Now, so now what we have to get is, we have to get the corresponding values of these. That means that when m equals 0, when m equals 5 over 2, when m equals minus 5 over 2, and for this we need to even get the endpoints, right? So now basically so what is our thing? So our one was this. Right? So for this only I substitute m, no? Right? So now I know that for when m equals 0, the cost graph goes to its highest. Right? No? When m equals 5 over 2, it goes to its symmetrical line. When m equals 5, it goes to its lowest. Those are stuff we know, no? Right? So here I'm going to take I'm going to check these points now. When m equals 0, right? What is the corresponding x value? Minus 5 over 8, right? So when m equals minus 5 over 2, that is 2x plus 5 over 4 minus 5 over 2. That is 2x equals minus 3 5 over 2, no? Sorry, 4. Yeah, right? So basically x is minus 3 5 over 8. Right? Then we get for m equals 5 over 2. That is 2x plus 5 over 4 equals 5 over. That means 2x is going to be equal to plus 5 over 4. So x is 5 over 8. Right? Then m equals 5. When m equals 5, right? So when m equals 5, you get 2x plus 5 over 4 equals 5. That means 2x is equal to 3 5 over 4. X is equal to 3 5 over 8. Right? So what? So now again you all need to properly understand this now. Huh? Now here when m equals 0, right? So this will be what? Now this when m equals 0, it's in a symmetrical line. So what was y? Y was between 1 minus square root 2, 1 plus square root 2, and the symmetrical line was y equals 1. So now m equals 0 is in symmetrical line. So the corresponding y value will be 1 here. So m equals 5 minus 2. Sorry. When m equals 0, it's at the highest point. That means y equals 1 plus square root. Right now, when m equals minus 5 over 2, this is the symmetric line. What is symmetric line? That means y equals 1. So when m equals 5 over 2, yet again it's a symmetric line. That means the corresponding value for this is y equals 1. When m equals 5, it is at the lowest point, which is what? 1 minus, that means y equals 1 minus square root. Right? This should be properly understood. Right? This should be properly understood. Right? Okay. So these are the usually if we get a graph question, these are all that you all need to find. But here this thing, this range has an unfinished thing. Now this is not finished. This is not a common angle that has been finished, which is either 1 or where the answer is either the maximum or minimum. So in this question you are compelled to find the endpoints as well. In this question only, right? You are compelled to find the endpoints as well. So now we have to see now. So write this down. So now we need to find the endpoint. Endpoints means what? When m equals minus 3 5 over 4, right? So when m equals minus 3 5 over 4, anyway from the first derivation we know that x equals minus 5 over 2. Hey, that is what we did. So if you all want, you can substitute and see. So x will be this, right? So now if I do this, what is the corresponding y value? Square root 2 cos minus 3 5 over 4 plus 5. So square root 2. So now here all is TC. So I'm going to write this as cos. So anyway, minus if there's a minus inside, for cos it can be written as positive as well. That is a theorem, right? So cos minus alpha is equal to cos alpha. This is a basic theorem in trig. You also know that. Here you can write this as 3 5 plus 3 5 over 4, and that can be written as what? 5 minus 3 5 over 4. So 5 minus 5 over 4. Right? So just imagine this as positive. Correct? Now plus 1. Square root 2, this is what? So 5 minus something is going to be minus, no? For cos. So 5 minus something is anyway going to be 5, no? It doesn't change, no? Right? Then this becomes minus cos phi of plus 1. Then you will get minus square root 2. This is also 1 over square root 2 plus 1. These get cancelled off, so this becomes 0. Right, no? So then it's going to be same for when m equals 5 over. When m equals 5 over 4, x is going to be 5 over 2. That is what we got from before. This is how you derive this down. Then y is going to be equal to square root 2 cos 5 over 4 plus 1. Square root 2 cos 5 plus 5 over plus 1. Yet again, here, if you go here, it's going to be minus. Right, no? Minus square root 2 cos 5 over 4 plus 1. So minus square root 2 plus 1 is going to be 0. So basically corresponding values at the endpoints are going to be 0 in this graph. Right? Right? So we know everything now. We just need to draw it up. Right, so this is for my ease. I'm going to have a small summary now. What was that? What did we find? So then no need to do this stuff. This is y, this is x. So now the what do you call the corresponding values. So now this is between 5 over 2 and minus 5 over 2 to 5 over 2. So I'm going to draw in terms of minus 5 over 8. Minus 5 over 4, minus 3 5 over 8, minus 5 over 2. Here also plus 5 over 8, 5 over 4, 3 5 over 8, 5 over 2. Right, so that is done. Then I know the what we call the upper point is what? 1 plus square root 2. And I know the symmetric line is 1. So this is also this is the upper limit. Then I know 1 minus square root 2 is the lower limit. Right? Then I know that when m was equal to 0, the corresponding x value was what? Minus 5 over 8. So I get the maximum point here. Then I got when m equals minus 5 over 2, the corresponding value was minus 3 5 over 8. That was symmetric line, so it basically goes from here. Then I know at the 8 point is going to be 0. Then I know that for when m equals 5 over 2, the corresponding x value was 5 over 8. That means here. Then I know that when m equals 5, the corresponding x value was 3 5 over 8. And the end point is 0. So now I just need to draw this now. So something like this, right? So this is y equals fx. Sorry, y equals 2fx. No? Y equals 2fx. Right. So the next part it says, it's about the sine rule and a small sum regarding that. Right, so this says, for the first thing it says, in the usual notation state the sine rule for a triangle, right? So now what is the sine rule? Sine rule is this one. Basically sine A over A is equal to sine B over B, sine C over C. Right, so this is sine rule. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to equal this to k. That is just to make the sum easy. Right? So then this is basically the sine rule. Now I'm going to write this thing down as sine A equals AK. Correct? No? Just cross multiply. Sine B equals BK. Sine C is going to equal C. Right? Then they are saying ABC be a triangle in the usual notation given that A to B to C ratio is A to lambda to mu. Right? So what does and lambda and mu are constants. Okay. So what does this? Now they say A to B to C is A to lambda to mu. Right? No? So I'm going to write lambda and mu separate. I'm going to write that separate. That means A to B ratio is lambda 1 to lambda. So basically lambda is B to A. Correct? No? Then I know that A to C is what? 1 over mu. So mu is basically C to A. Right? Right. Okay, now they are asking us to prove something. They are telling us to prove mu squared sine 2A sine 2B plus sine 2C is going to be equal to 4 lambda sine 2C. Now even in previous past papers I have told that it is easier if you all can take the keep the angles in one side, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to prove this now. Sine 2A plus sine 2B plus sine 2C over sine cube C is going to be equal to 4 lambda mu square. I'm going to prove this. Right, so it doesn't matter what I prove now. I need to get this answer, right? So now I'm going to name this part as A, this part as B. So I need to basically show A and B are equal, right? So that's going to be my plan, right? So what is A now? 4 lambda is what? B over A. What is mu square? C squared over A square. So I can remove 1A. That is, I get 4AB over C square. And now this is A. So if I find B as same as this, then I will get the answer. Correct? So now I'm going to check the B part. So now what is the B part? Sine 2a plus sine 2b plus sine 2c sine cube c. So I'm going to add this up now. That means 2 sine 2a plus 2b over 2 cos 2a plus 2b over 2. Right? Furthermore, because there is a sine cube c here, I'm going to expand this as well. Right. So here we get sine a plus b. Like that what is sine a plus b? So now I can write sine a plus b as 2 sine phi minus c. Correct? Cos. Oh, there's something wrong here. Minus, no? Right? This is minus. Cos a minus b plus 2 sin c cos sine cube c. Now this is, what is this now? If I take all STC, phi minus thing is going to be plus the. So this will be positive sine. So if I'm going to take 2 out anyway, this is going to be positive sine c cos a minus b plus sin c cos sine cube c. Right now, so then I can I'll write this as this sine square c into sine c. No problem. So I can cut this one. Right now. Now cos c. C can be written as phi minus a plus b. So phi minus, so 2 cos a minus b plus cos phi minus a plus b. Right, not a problem. So yet again phi minus a minus b comes here. So because it's phi minus thing, the cos won't change, cos will be there, but this will be minus. Correct? So then you will get two times cos a minus b minus cos a plus b over sine square. Right? So write this down. Right, so you come up to here. So you come up to here. Then you get, so 2 is there. Then you can, so now this is cos minus cos, right? So you can, so cos minus cos is going to be 2 sin sine. So yet again you can do it in two ways, putting minus and just do it this plus this over 2 and this minus this, no, or you can do it in the other way, which will get the positive one. So I'll do it in the positive way, right? So basically 2 sin a plus b plus a minus b over 2 sin a plus b minus a minus b. So you get 4, cancel off sin a. So here the a will get cancelled off, then you will get 2b. 2b over 2 is sin b. Right? So now the thing that I wrote first of all will get handier. That is what? Sin a was equal to what? AK sin B BK sin C CK. So I'm going to use this now. 4 times AK BK C square K square. Right? So I can cut these K's off. Then I will get 4AB C square. Right? Now this is equal to what? This is equal to A. Capital A, B go. Capital A also we got this too. Now, then because of that, so what is, A equals B. So what is A? A we wrote as 4 lambda mu square. B is this no? So then you cross multiply and get the answer. 4 lambda sin cube 3 mu square sin 2a plus sin 2b plus sin 2c. So we get the answer. Right? So that's basically it for this sum.